be educated, but I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is bliss. Take me back to before I knew. Rewind, take it out of cue. Innocence can be a young man's game. Signed up for the hall of shame. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed when we play our roles and ignore the problems. I like to be away in my patience. Stay up, I feel so outdated. How can we look the other way? Sun is out, but the sky is gray.
Susanna Marie Juliana Rosso Wolf. But you can just call me Susie.
This is Susie Wolf, a 69-year-old abstract artist based right outside of Three Forks, Montana. Like, literally in the middle of nowhere. She's this self-proclaimed nut that only after one or two conversations with her, you can tell has this deep, emotional spark that a lot of other people lose when they get older. I met Susie earlier this year when I interviewed her for a different documentary I was working on. I think the best way of how to get an introduction for Susie is just to watch the house tour she gave me.
I cook with wine sometimes. I even put it in the food. I love that. I've had that thing for like 40 years.
I can tell it never gets old.
And this is called, what did I name it? I named it Fast Shuffle. This is called Wild Whispers. I got a whole stack for you over here. Ground gravel from our driveway. I ground it myself.
Yeah.
It was not easy. If you touch it, you'll feel how heavy. I've always loved this painting. It has such really cool vibrations.
What do you mean by vibrations? Like, are you talking like literal, like when you rub your hand across it?
Mm-mm.
Or are you thinking more spiritually?
Grandma right there in that picture, she could predict futures.
And she was good at it? It was like accurate?
Oh, totally. All the women of the neighborhood would come to my grandmother because she could foresee the future. It's amazing because it was all true. And she passed it down to me. So I have a watered down version of deep, deep intuition. All of my emotions are in these. So whatever I'm feeling at the time tends to come out more often than not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While she was giving me a tour of her art studio, I was trying to grab some B-roll, and she was telling me the story about this scam company that tried to steal her artwork or money or something. And you can tell by the footage that I got that what she said kind of caught me so off guard.
So I decided to just be cool and say, yeah, okay, I'm really busy right now. I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
And immediately I got on the phone and I called the FBI.
You did?
I've had to call the FBI several times on people who claim to be who they aren't, you know.
Do you call the FBI often?
I've probably called them at least 3 or 4 times in the past 7 years, at least. So,
Do you know if they continued the investigation?
and they took them out. I don't know if they're still in jail, but I know that they went to jail.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess we should start at the beginning and I'll try to just summarize. It's very difficult for me. I was born and raised in the Culver City area. It was all about LA. I went to Catholic school for 8 years, St. Gerard Magella. And then after that, I said, ugh, I've had enough. I've had enough. The nuns, the swatting, all of the nuns. Yeah. So, and I was terrible in math because I'm not a numbers person at all. I compensate for that with my mother's side of the family, who was totally into the arts. And we would all sit together and paint, draw, and I scribbled into coloring books outside the lines. And everybody told me, Susie, you have to stay inside the lines. My brain didn't accept it. I always went outside the lines. And to this day, it just makes sense to me. Then from there, I went into junior high public school, got out of Catholic school because Catholic school did not support the arts, and I hated that. I was accepted before I graduated from high school. I was accepted into California Institute of the Arts. So I was very young. Very young. Can you put it on pause, please?
Yeah. You just want to. At this point during the interview, Susie told me to shut the camera off. I won't tell you what she said off camera, but for the context of some of the other clips that are coming, she suffered a serious trauma that left her with the decision to ultimately leave California's Institute of the Arts.
But it is what it is, baby. My favorite saying, it is what it is.
I think the hardest times in your life is really what shapes you into the person you are. And I think it's what builds, your love and compassion for others, and it's what makes you patient for others.
Well, I think we're given that for a reason. It does have an effect on our growth as human beings, internal growth. You have two choices. You can either move forward or fall back. Big Mike, that was his nickname. He said, Sis, don't ever walk down the road called regret, because once you get on it, you cannot turn back. You don't have time for all of the garbage that you're collecting. And that's why I love painting. Because when I walk into that studio, I'm not thinking about an argument I got into with my husband or anything. The only thing I'm thinking about is the brush on the canvas. It's the best church there is. I've chosen to move forward in my life. I've always been that way. I just decided one day after my mother-in-law died right here on my chest, in my studio, which was her room, I decided to order a table easel because I wanted to pick up drawing again and everything. Art is all about love. Art cannot exist with hate. It can't. You have to have love for yourself, your people, and your art. And without love, you're absolutely nothing artistically, because you're just going to be making patterns. And does a pattern say something to you? I don't think so.
I think this is one of the parts that struck me the most during her interview. She's right? People can inherently tell when the art that you're creating isn't backed by a deep part of your heart and your soul. To me, what's the point of creating art if you're at the base lacking the message that you're trying to convey? She credits the intense amount of feeling and emotion that she has for everything to her Italian heritage, or how she describes it, a hot-blooded Italian.
I just do what comes out of me. And that's the secret. Just allow yourself to let it go onto the canvas. Let it go. And that's the beauty of abstraction. I'm a hot-blooded Italian, and I want my emotion on that canvas.
You take pride in your Italian heritage.
Oh, very much so.
Although Susie's an abstract artist, she's very particular in her methods and how she goes about creating art. She kept telling me that there's a certain level of perfection that you need to have in your artwork to create something that's worthwhile to the viewer. And this specific process is kind of what I wanted to find out. Maybe it's this perfection standard that she has, but I've never met any artist before that's as confident in their work as Susie Wolf is.
It isn't an ego thing when you're confident. Because confidence in your art, what you're doing right now, that paints the way for your future. If you don't have it, you have to get out. Find something else that you can be confident in. I don't need to have recognition to continue to paint. Yeah. Those canvases can stack up to the heavens. I don't care. I just have to do it. It's in me. It's who I am.
Because you don't have kids, but you've talked about having, wanting kids a lot. Would you be comfortable talking about that on camera, or is that something?
Absolutely. It is important to bring it up, Ethan, because it is part of my life. And it makes me who I am. The loss of 6 children, it's kind of unheard of. If you embrace it and accept it, it's so much easier to move forward and just understand. What you have to do is forgive yourself, forgive the doctors, all of that kind of stuff. Not just in losing children, but in anything that's, very serious that's happened to you. Every time I go to a new doctor and they see how many children that I've lost, they're like, oh my God. It is very rare. I mean, it is pain beyond anything that I can even describe to you. But to live and dwell, it's not worth it. You have to pull your big girl pants up. You have to. And if you don't, then you're just going to become nothing but a shell of yourself. Really. And I won't allow that. I just don't allow it. I don't allow it to drag me down. I can talk about it with anybody. It's my life experience. It's the book that was written for me because it is who you are. And if you're not embracing who you are, then who are you? You're lost. You're a lost soul. And I refuse to do that to myself. All of the things that we go through from the time we take our first breath are part of us. So what are you going to do? You're going to stay to the negative and oh, woe is me? Or are you going to build a life of positivity? It's our choice. It's our choice.
I think the amount of trauma that Susie went through is almost unfathomable. There's so many points in her life where she could have given up and just accepted the cards she was dealt. She could have become jaded with life. She could have hated the world and what it's done to her. Right when I was thinking this exact thought, she takes a little pin and pulls this little piece of paper off the wall. It was a medical diagnosis. I mean, she's had so many health complications in the past, but this one was the most recent.
When I was with the cardiologist, it was kind of a life-changing reality for me because he diagnosed me with chronic neuromuscular respiratory failure due to ALS. Now, I'm not crying about this because I am very blessed. Look at me. Do I look like I'm dying? I ignore this. I mean, it just, you wake up, walk down the hall, and you paint. Art is healing. Is it going to improve or get better? No, there's nothing they can do for me. But I get on my bike, go for walks, I work my butt off in here. I'm not going anywhere. Art is healing. Art is the best medicine in the world. You know, keep your NyQuil and keep all your pills and all of that stuff and pick up a paintbrush, right? Truthfully, the only thing I really want to do in the art business is just to paint. And if anything comes of that, then so be it. If nothing does, then so be it. I'm doing what I want to do. One of these days, somebody will inherit an enormous collection. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody will. And then when I die, the value of my work will skyrocket.
Susie and I talked a lot about death. And with the diagnosis that she received, it's something that holds a lot of weight in her mind. I think something that my parents always told me is that most people are immortalized through their children. This is not a luxury that Susie has. How you're gonna be remembered and like immortalized? Do you think it's gonna be through your artwork?
We don't put our expectations out on being famous. We just want to paint.
Yeah, if you wanted to be famous, you wouldn't be a painter. That's not
Exactly.
not in the business of money.
It is who we are. We cannot help it. We cannot stop it. But insofar as the art, that is such an interpersonal journey. And there isn't any way, shape, or form that I can get rid of that.
Should I get an
So
apron
you
on?
need an apron. Yep. Choose your poison. The flower.
Yeah, I think I'm going with the flower. Look at.
It's got to be perfect here. Actually, it does.
It does, but it just doesn't have like.
Then it was nothing but rural areas. Just do it. Just relax. You gotta relax. You gotta.
I always feel like there's expectations with art.
No, not in this house. Not this art house. No expectations. You know, I'm not striving for my work to be iconic, but I am striving for my work to show my voice.
Yeah.
I want my voice heard in my work. And that's the most important thing.
Something that I kept seeing while we were painting is Susie would take a step back and just look at the painting for a long time, just sit there and look at it. I asked her about it, and she said one of the things that she credits a lot with her process and her work is the vision she gets. She'll take a step back from the piece, sit there for the longest time, and almost listen to what the artwork has to say. And after a while, and after so much silence, she would say,
I see it. I see it. Yeah. How about that?
yeah. What do you think?
I think I love it for a first layer.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
By this point of the day, we've been painting for a while and we decided to take a break for lunch. And so while I'm getting my lunch prepped and moving footage over onto my laptop, Susie comes up to me and she's like, Ethan, I have this insane idea for what we can do with this circle, this big open circle that's in the middle of our piece.
So we were talking about layers, and right now we have number 1 layer going, right? And we're gonna do some touch-ups and finish that up. My silly idea was to take one of my characters in my sketchbook in that big circle, which is a funky looking space alien kind of character, right? And build an atmosphere. Something has to go in there to create, that captivating look. Lift up. And then we'll set it right on that ledge.
Oh, yeah. We talked a little bit about what you believe spiritually, but it started out Catholic Christian.
Yeah.
Are you still Christian, or have you kind of left the whole church as a whole?
Well, I left the church as a whole for many, many years. I will continue on my own spiritual path.
Yeah.
I feel deeply connected to whoever it is that created me.
Sure.
But to tell you the truth, where I'm at religiously is my prayer post. I go up to my prayer post, I look up at the heavens, and that's my church.
Yeah.
What happens is I'm reminded of the torture of Catholic school.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
What do you think the reason is why just the act of doing art extends someone's life and their quality of life so much?
The solitude. The ability to be completely quiet and listen to inner voice. I think that's huge. It's very powerful, Ethan. It's very powerful, and therefore healing. I hope my real goal is to see the joy in others when they see my work.
Yeah.
That's all I really want.
I think bringing joy to others through
Yes.
making things.
Oh my gosh, it's so fulfilling.
Yeah. So many people as they get older,
Yeah.
they get a little angry with life.
Oh,
and they get
yes.
super upset.
Yep, that's true.
It seems like with you it's the opposite. I think that there's an extra level that I think you found out for how to keep your spark and your love for life.
Yeah, I know what that is.
What do you think it is?
Gratitude for still being here. I was told how many years ago? You got 2 years to live, and then again and again and again and again. And every night I go to bed, I say a prayer for myself and my family, and I plead, please let me wake up in the morning. Please. It's gratitude. The only way I can explain it to you is that I feel the blessing.
Yeah.
I feel it. You're talking to a person of the deepest level of gratitude.
Yeah.
Especially because those jerks kept telling me I was gonna die. Oh, look! This is so cool. Absolutely. Put her on. Okay. Oh my gosh. There you go. Yeah.
Susie Wolf has a spark unlike anything I've ever seen. She takes ownership of the trials that life has thrown at her, and in turn gains power and control over the trauma that she's faced. She handles it all with grace and this childlike wonder that she navigates with her paintbrush. The entire day, she would continuously say how much of a kook or a nut she was. But to me, it's just unknown brilliance.
I am all here now. Once you walk into your studio, everything else goes away. And I am just all here.
Please, please go support Susie. You can buy prints of her artwork on her website and follow her art journey and what she's up to on her Instagram.